morning, America. It's Friday.
It's time for Morning Sedate with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Paul Harvey. Always right on the money. This is Friday, finally Friday, the end of the work week, except for maybe a lot of people, the work week ended a day or two ago. So it's been kind of a shortened work week, and what a week it has been. Lots of news this week, lots going on, including yesterday, the 4th of July celebrations here, there, and the other place. And I remember, I think the forecast from yesterday morning said that it was going to rain or something, and I don't know about here in Hornell, but in Almond, we got just a few little spits of rain here and there in the afternoon, and that was it. I mean, so it really was kind of a nice day, a little humid, just a little bit, but that was okay. And, of course, last night, the fireworks and all that. And speaking of fireworks, that's right. Because I get up absurdly early, I go to sleep absurdly early, right? So by 10 o'clock at night, I'm sleeping. And along around exactly 10 o'clock last night, someone close by to where we live in Almond starts with the fireworks. Now, by 10 o'clock, as I said, I'm already sleeping. Or at least I was until 10 o'clock. And that was it. So my Friday started last night at 10 o'clock. And here I am. It's been a long day already, and it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. So, on the other hand, it was the 4th, and people set off fireworks on the 4th, and that is a very, very nice thing, right? So it celebrates our country's independence from Great Britain. So that's okay. Yeah, I kind of ruined my sleep, but that's, in the long run, it's really no big deal. And I do feel in a kind of a patriotic mood this morning. I am wearing, that's right, red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Yeah, red, white, and blue. Okay, patriotic. That seems pretty good. In my estimation, the best color combination there is, and the best color combination there ever was or will be, red, white, and blue. So, I had somebody ask me yesterday that I had a show, I think it was, I don't remember now, Monday or Tuesday, where I mentioned that July 4th isn't precisely the day that the country declared its independence. And it was a little obscure, I think, maybe. So I'm going to go over this again, just for the heck of it here. July 4th, which, of course, was yesterday, while it's recognized as Independence Day, it really should have been July 2nd. July 2nd. The colonists formally declared their independence on July 2nd. Right, which John Adams promptly called the most memorable epoch in the history of America, and he said it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the greatest anniversary festival. And indeed, he was right, I think. So what they did was on July 2nd, the Continental Congress approved the resolution which would declare our independence from Great Britain. And it was on July 4th that they approved the final text of the Declaration, after jointly making some 86 changes in the draft composed by Thomas Jefferson and 4 of his colleagues. But that still wasn't when this document of our nation was signed. That happened, for the most part, on August 2nd. August 2nd, about a month later. But at least 5 signers didn't affix their signatures to the Declaration until the following weeks. So it was a process. First, they had to gather all these people and get their signatures, right? So eventually, 56 people signed it. And when you think of it, if you put your signature to a document declaring independence from Great Britain, as far as Great Britain went, that was treason. It was treason. So these 56 gentlemen said, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. And they knew the risk that they were taking, because there are their signatures loud and clear on the document, right? If the British ever got hold of them, it would have been, if they were lucky, they would be hanged. That was if they were lucky. So they took a great, great risk in doing that. And it's unimaginable now, because Great Britain wasn't called great for no reason. I mean, it was a very powerful country. And they had their hands all over the colonies. And if they ever laid their hands on these guys, they would be hanged, as I said. So they took a great risk. Oh, by the way, a little bit of trivia. We talk about the men who signed the Declaration, right? And they were all 56 and they were all guys. But the person who printed the first printed version of the Declaration of Independence was a woman. So not the written a copy, but the first printed edition was printed by a woman. She owned a print shop in Philadelphia. So she owned a print shop in Philadelphia. So just make a note of that. It wasn't just guys who did this. The women were just one of these days, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I have a long list of women who were prominent in the revolution, and there are a bunch of them. So it wasn't just guys who did that. Anyway, on the downside, the majority of the signers of the Declaration, 41 of the 56, owned slaves. Okay, that's probably not too good. There were a few ardent abolitionists among that number, but 41 of the 56 owned slaves. On the upside of that, we fought a war in the following century that abolished the slavery, right? So while there was a mistake in the beginning, eventually we corrected it. And we fought a war. Over 600,000 people died in the Civil War. And when you think of it, 600,000 people, that's a lot of blood. So while we made an initial mistake, we went back and we corrected it. So there you are. Okay, that's the story of the people who signed the Declaration. And speaking of which, all week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and yesterday morning too, the media was all over, just all over, the 4th of July celebration in Washington. They were calling it Trump's celebration, Trump's extravaganza. Not the nation's birthday. It was Trump's. It was Trump's affair, right? It was his this and his that. Well, it's the 4th of July, right? It's the country's birthday. And I woke up this morning, or actually last night, and I'm reading, and I'm expecting really scathing reviews, so to speak, of yesterday's activities on the mall in Washington. And oddly enough, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as bad. This is in USA Today. Hardly a friend of Trump. It said, why Trump's 4th of July? Why Trump's 4th of July was a tale of 3 different celebrations. And it starts off 4th of July festivities in the nation's capital were anything but typical this year. Yeah, I agree there. It wasn't just the military tanks, jet flyovers, or the speech by President Donald Trump. The president's role in what is usually a nonpartisan celebration created what felt like 3 different events. Protesters who decried his administration and his policies. Of course, people are going to protest Trump no matter what he does, no matter what's going on, right? His policies. A campaign rally where supporters cheered for him to keep the White House for another term, and those who simply wanted to enjoy hot dogs and fireworks. Well, okay, that's pretty good. With their families for the annual Independence Day festivities. And on a holiday marking America's birthday, the country's divisions were on full display. There was a giant, I think you've heard this on the news, it was a giant blimp depicting the president as an orange infant. There was also a sea of red Make America Great Again hats, and there were families spread out along the National Mall with blankets and children anxiously awaiting the fireworks and not focused on politics. Well, that'll be a nice change of pace. Anyway, when the protesters and Trump supporters clashed over a flag burning in front of the White House, there were 2 arrests. Not too bad, only 2. That's okay, fine. Although most confrontations did not go beyond shouting matches. Okay, Trump's influence on the annual celebrations were easy to spot. Supporters poured into the National Mall throughout the day, many waving Trump 2020 flags or wearing MAGA hats. They passed by the heckling of protesters with disgust, some yelling snowflakes to the crowd gathered in opposition of Trump. And all day long, I went back and forth and back and forth. So, while I didn't hear the speech firsthand, I did catch it on YouTube this morning. And it didn't really seem offensive. He praised the military, and he should. Very good. He praised the country. Okay, that's good too. And he didn't say something like vote for me in 2020. Okay? It was pretty well down the middle, and I thought it was a pretty good speech. So I don't know what people were all upset about. But anyway, that's how it went yesterday on the mall. And you figure the president would probably take some kind of a role in the 4th of July celebrations, I think, right? Or at least he should. He's the leader of the country. But anyway, that's that. Now, I also did a lot of searching here, and apparently on July 4th, our presidents, various presidents dating way back, have had different ways of celebrating the 4th and where they've been and what they've done and said. Let me see. Where did I find this? This, I believe, was on AP. It should be here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Okay, in 1777, on the first anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, with the Revolutionary War well underway, it started in 1775, future President John Adams described a day and night of spontaneous celebration in Philadelphia in a letter to his wife, Abigail. Now, there's one of the women of the Revolution, Abigail Adams. Wow, what a woman. After hours of parading troops, fireworks, bonfires, and music, he tells her he strolled alone in the dark. Right? He took a walk. In 1791, George Washington celebrated in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, with an address, fine cuisine, and walking around town. Okay, he too took a walk. Let me see. As 1798, now President John Adams reviewed a military parade in Philadelphia as the young nation flexed its muscle. 1801, Thomas Jefferson, he presided over the first 4th of July public reception at the White House. 1822, James Monroe hung out at his farm in Virginia. 1826, John Quincy Adams and Jefferson III both died. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson both died on July 4th in 1826. James Monroe, 1831, who was the 5th president, died on this day on July 4th. Wow, isn't that strange? I mean, that is really strange. 1848, James Polk witnessed the laying of the cornerstone of the Washington Monument with Abraham Lincoln. And let me see, poor Zachary Taylor. 1850, he attended festivities at the grounds of the Washington Monument, and he got ill with stomach cramps after eating cherries and drinking iced milk and water. And he died July 9th. And there was a theory that someone poisoned him with arsenic, but that was debunked in 1991 when his body was exhumed and tested. Let me see. 1868, Andrew Johnson executes a proclamation granting amnesty to those who fought for the Confederacy. 1902, Teddy Roosevelt spoke to about 200,000 people in Pittsburgh. And what else? 1914, Woodrow Wilson declared our country right or wrong at Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Cal Coolidge in 1928 went trout fishing in Wisconsin. Herbert Hoover vacationed by the Rapidan River in Virginia. That was 1930. Let me see. Franklin Roosevelt went fishing in 1934. 1946, Harry Truman relaxed in Maryland's Catoctin Mountains Catoctin Mountains in Maryland. Let me see. 1951, Harry Truman addressed a huge crowd at the Washington Monument. Dwight Eisenhower, from 1953 to 1957, played golf. Every 4th of July, he played golf. He was a big golfer. He also did watercolors, Eisenhower. And I don't know where we got it, but we have a portfolio. How we got it, where we got it, I have no. We have a portfolio of Eisenhower's watercolors.
You know what else we have?
Let me see. Can I guess? How about Rob Carolyn? We have Rob Carolyn on the line. Oh, Rob, hello.
Wow, what a combination. Eisenhower's watercolors and me.
Hey, that's right. You're the man. You're the man. So, what's going on weather-wise?
Well, it actually has finally started to feel a little bit more like summer, Jonathan. That's been a welcome change. We've probably had our best 10 days weather-wise of the summer over the course of the last 10 days. And we've got some more decent weather. We've got to get through a little bit of heat and humidity over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. But it looks like a cold front moving out of Ontario is going to lead to some really, really nice weather developing across the area as we head on into Sunday and the early part of next week. In fact, you can see the front this morning on the map stretching from Wisconsin up across Lake Superior and into the central part of Ontario. Now, today we're starting out with some low cloudiness. That'll burn off. It'll kind of turn partly sunny for a while, and then clouds will develop this afternoon that could lead to a shower or a thunderstorm. We're 85 to 90 today. Sunrise this morning was at 5:40. It'll set tonight at 8:50. We'll have clouds tonight, some showers and thunderstorms into the evening. Warm and muggy overnight, 70 to 75. It remains warm and muggy tomorrow, Jonathan, with lots of clouds, some showers and storms, highs around 85. Skies will start to clear tomorrow night. Lows will drop down to 60 to 65. And then Sunday, gorgeous. Lots of sun, low humidity, perfect for any and all outdoor activities. We'll have a high of 75 to 80 on Sunday, and that type of weather will continue Monday into Tuesday.
Okay, so that means on Sunday you got to mow the lawn. Thanks, Rob.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, anytime.
Good. Oh, so how did you spend your 4th?
I was working.
You worked on the 4th of July.
Yep. Yes.
A meteorologist's work is never done, right?
It is not. Nope. There's weather all the time, day and night.
Whether or not. We
Rain or
will have
shine.
whether or not. Hey. Okay, thanks, Rob. I'll see you next week.
You got it.
Okay, bye. Okay, let me see here. Oh, insurance. That's right. Insurance, important for everyone. Well, the Ryan Agencies. Have you heard of them? Of course you have. The Ryan Agencies with insurance offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They are your local insurance experts. They're like having your own personal insurance advisor or consultant. Isn't that neat, huh? At the Ryan Agencies, they represent you, not a single insurance company, putting you first. The Ryan Insurance Agencies work to find the best price, coverage, and service for you. They find insurance that matches your unique needs and budget, and everybody's different, that's right. And they offer you the best insurance value. They're plugged into this community, and they are also experts in your unique insurance needs. They're good local people, and they're right here, the Ryan Agency.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Brian Fenley.
Wimbledon amping up with third-round play today. On the men's side, 15th seed Milos Raonic has his first serve dominating. He took the first set by a tiebreaker, won the second set, and is up 3-0 in the third set against American Riley Opelka, who's 6'11". On the ladies' side, look out for 15-year-old American sensation Coco Gauff, who faces Paulana Herzog today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. On the PGA Tour, Scott Piercy leads after the first round at the 3M Open, had a 62-9 under with a 2-shot edge. The second round is already underway. Cody Bellinger from yesterday drilling his 30th home run as the Dodgers Duke passed the Padres 5-1. The Cardinals cast away the Mariners 5-4.
New to golf or seasoned veteran, you'll enjoy the casual, relaxed atmosphere of Vanderview Golf Course. 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road, Vanderview is a 9-hole executive-length golf course with a driving range on one side of the road and the course on the other. Family-friendly and fun recreation for everyone. Greens fees are one price for unlimited play, $9.50. High school students, only $5. Children 12 and under with an adult, no charge. You can play up to 18 holes or 9 holes with a cart and get the second 9 holes at no additional charge. Ladies and senior golfers who don't hit the long ball, Vanderview's got the executive length that's just right for your game. And new this year, a season pass for only $100. That's a lot of golfing fun for a very little bit of money. Vanderview Golf Course, 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road. Vanderview Golf Course.
From the Fox Business Network, stock futures are lower on Wall Street ahead of the June jobs report out this morning. The expectation, 160,000 jobs added. That's more than double the number created back in May. The unemployment rate is expected to hold at 3.6%. That's a 50-year low. Overseas markets are mixed, with Shanghai and Japan's Nikkei average among those up, but markets across Europe in the red. A survey in the UK shows business leaders are cutting back on investment, holding off on spending on staff and technology as the political uncertainty continues ahead of Brexit. This coming from a survey from the Institute of Directors. And West Virginia officials say billionaire coal executive and philanthropist Chris Klein is among the 7 Americans killed in a chopper crash near the Bahamas. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Lillian Wu.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Chris. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Chris. That's 4hims.com/Chris.
That's right. And we're back. Let me see here. How much time? Yeah, okay. This is good. This is a new CNN poll. It says the poll finds most New Yorkers are patriotic but also back dissent. Okay. More than 2/3 of New Yorkers say they are patriotic, and 8 out of 10 are proud to be Americans, a Siena College poll released on Wednesday found. 45% believe America is the best country in the world, according to the survey. And yet most New Yorkers are also on board with dissent. Okay, but New Yorkers by a majority, about 7 out of 10, do not believe it is un-American to protest the actions of the government. And a tad more than half said it was inaccurate to say someone who believes in socialism is not a good American. Okay? And about 9 out of 10 believe freedom of speech applies to all, including those who criticize the country, such as, let's say, Colin Kaepernick, right? He was in the news this week with the Betsy Ross flag on the Nike sneakers and the whole thing. You can say what you want to. You can do what you want to. That's fine. You can have your own opinion. Even if you want to kneel during the national anthem, that's fine. It's okay. I guess if you want to be a dope, you just go right ahead. That's fine. Everybody's free. But so I found this on the Campus Reform website. Now, the Campus Reform, as the name sort of implies, they go to various campuses or campi or something, and they ask students' opinions on this, that, and the other. And the one that got my attention is, let me see, what do college students think is the best country on earth? And this is what they came up with.
What do these students think? Let's find out. Are you proud to be an American this year?
Nah, not at all.
Do you find yourself proud to be an American this year?
No.
There are so many issues right now that I just can't say yes that I'm proud to be an American, but that's not to say that I'm not fortunate.
I've been prouder, I think, in the past.
I think we do as a country have a lot to be proud of, but at the moment there are a lot more things we have to be ashamed of.
I don't know how to say it. I'm not proud, but I don't like what we're experiencing now.
Are you proud to be an American this year?
Nah, not as proud as I've been in the past, but I feel lucky.
Or what would you say are the reasons that you're feeling that way?
Definitely our current president, because he just... I'm not proud of him.
I can't be proud of a country that elected Trump.
I mean, I think it's awful if someone says they aren't proud to be an American regardless of who's in our office. So of course I'm more proud than honestly ever.
I think one of the most patriotic things a person can do is realize that there's a lot of problems in the country, be willing to help solve those problems, and still love their country at the end of the day.
Do you think we're the greatest country in the world?
I don't think we're the greatest country in the world.
No.
No.
Do you think America is the greatest country in the world?
No. It's not the greatest country in the world.
What would you say is?
Well, that's kind of a difficult question because I don't feel like I can make an informed decision, but if I had to say, I would probably say Sweden.
Canada's doing it kind of well now, so I think Canada's is a front runner for greatest country.
Sweden, Norway, some of the more developed countries that have better health care.
I would say Nordic states, yeah. Iceland, people seem pretty happy there.
What is?
I don't know, but it's a country with a lot less violence, a lot less distribution of guns, a better, more stable government with, less of a wage gap.
Times have really changed in this country, so it's not...
In what way?
Just even with, the American dream is I learned that it was to have the freedom to do and say most of the things that you want without too many repercussions. But now, especially for people of color, the police brutality and all stuff like that that's really going on now, it's just not what it's been perceived to be. So it's a very frustrating topic.
What are we the greatest in?
Personal freedom.
Are we though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there we are. So there are the future leaders of America. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it. Oh wow. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you Monday, 8:05. Bye.